face. It was excellent.
Yeah, it's like, man, I think his eyebrows hit his hairline.
I know. I deleted it. It's gone.
It's really
all
hard.
gone.
It's real. I have to be really surprised for my eyebrows to hit my hairline.
Yeah.
Does that have to make a full circle and go back to your
Your
beard?
entire
It does.
face would have to come off and go like back on the back of your head.
It's like that stunt woman we was talking about.
Which one?
Did we not talk about that?
No, not a stunt.
There
one.
was a stunt woman in, I think it was in that newest Mad Max. She hit a camera rig that was supposed to get out of the way. She was on a motorcycle. It ripped one of her arms off.
Ooh.
And degloved her face.
And what?
Degloved. That means when the skin is completely ripped off,
Oh.
it degloved her face.
They put her. So it was face off, face on.
They put her back together. She said she had a good sense of humor about it. You know, she's severely injured. She can't work anymore. She said, you know, it was not my funnest day on the set. She posted on Facebook. I was like, man, she was really pretty too. She's like in her prime, 32, 34, and she'd been in a lot of top flight movies as a stunt woman. And the rig, it was this rig, and those rigs are really solid. And she was driving it, and the rig was supposed to retract out of the way too, so that you get that boom, and it was just boom.
It was just more boom.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to the podcast for BingeWatchPodcast.com. We've got on the show today, we've got Radical Ron.
Howdy, folks.
The goatee guy.
Used
Paul,
to be
the bearded wonder.
Bearded wonder.
Sort of bearded wonder.
Scruffy on the side. A little bit.
Full of marshmallows.
Full of marshmallows.
Full of marshmallows.
Really, seriously, after the holidays, full of marshmallows.
Gorgeous Greg.
And he is gorgeous.
I'm
looking better than ever.
Damn fine.
Damn fine.
And Brokeback Brian.
Brokeback
Brokeback Brian.
You know what?
And if you can't quit me,
We can't quit you, man.
then it's Binge Watch Podcast or Binge Watch PC on Twitter, BingeWatchPodcast.com on the intranets, the web thing. If you've never used that before,
Their internet.
and on Facebook,
The
it's just search
www.
for Binge Watch Podcast and we'll come up.
On
I
Facebook.
heard it's a series of tubes.
It is a series of tubes.
Internet.
Transistors.
All right, you ready? You ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do it. Boom, ba-dum, boom. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the Worldwide Broadcast Center in Tejas, it's the bearded wonder, the goat man himself, Senor Pablo.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and all the ships at sea. This is my transatlantic dialogue that Brian told us about. Hey, everybody. Here's our news for the start of a new year, 2016.
Happy New
The
Year.
debut episode of 2016.
That's
that's
right.
true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, well, we missed like
On our
3 or 4 weeks at the end.
Yeah,
so.
we were all world traveling over the holidays.
That's right.
Yeah. So as with most of the news, I try to compile something every week, but most of the news we get off of extremist.com, EXSTREAMIST.com. He's always up to date on stuff, and that's why I like to crib notes off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, man. Okay, so for the news, we got what's new Netflix in January. As with any of these what's new lists, there's tons of sites out there. You can just go to Google or extremist.com and just search for what's new on Netflix, what's new on any of the services, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and they have lists out there. Just going through what's new on Netflix, there's been a ton of good stuff, and this is the debut year for them spending $5 billion, Netflix, on new content.
That's a lot of scratch.
30
A lot of Netflix.
31 new series.
Netflix?
That 31 new series that they're going to
Yes,
be debuting.
Take 1 billion Netflix, please.
Some of the things: Ice Age 2, Meltdown, Celebrity Plastic Surgeons of Beverly Hills Season 1.
Oh, so looking
Waiting
forward to
for
that.
it.
Gosh,
Yeah,
that's a rewatch for sure.
yeah.
Again and again.
Bring It On, Fight to the Finish, 2009, and Bring It On, In It to Win It, 2007.
There's more than one?
What?
There's like 9 Bring It
Oh my
Ons,
God.
man.
This is Land Before Time. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Constantine, 2005, is coming on.
Mhm.
I believe that's with Keanu Reeves.
That
right?
is Keanu Reeves.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
TV show was not so good.
No.
Constantine
No,
TV show.
Pretty bad.
No.
Smoking Aces 2, Assassin's Ball. I thought it said Assassin's Balls at first.
I was waiting.
Now
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would be a show I'd be interested to watch.
That's on Cinemax.
Stephen Fry Live, More to Fool Me, 2014. The Tales of Despero, that's animated.
Yep.
Sophia the First, season 2.
Mhm.
Whatever. It's Always
your
Sunny.
kiddos,
Yeah, exactly. It's always, and for the kiddos also, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, season
Not
10.
so much.
Yeah, nuts. But what's
If
the
you wanna wear
opposite
the
of the opposite of for kids? That's
Yeah.
that show.
Not for kids.
If you want to win the Parenting of the Year award.
Right.
Yeah. Parks and Recreation, season 7. I was sort of disappointed in the ending. That's the ending season of Parks and
Yeah,
Rec.
last season.
It's sort of like, the writers moved on.
Yeah.
Let's go. But it was funny throughout. I liked it. And there's a ton of other stuff. I won't. I think I called out that Sharknado 3 is in January 22nd.
And the title of that is "Oh Hell No."
Sharknado 3.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Oh Hell No.
Oh hell
Oh, hell no.
See, you have to have the country inflection for it to work.
Right.
And that's that's the new stuff there. Also, Howard Stern. He at the end of this last year, he made a lot of noises. He was going to walk away from SiriusXM, and he
I thought he was retiring.
he made a ton of money off of them. He had a 10-year contract, $100 million previously, and he signed a new 5-year deal for $80 million. He has to.
And that's $80 million a year. You said.
I think something crazy like that. Yeah.
It's got to be. If he was doing that before. it's
Yeah.
back to Mike.
Let me double check that because that sounds 80 terms of the deal were not immediately disclosed, but for
Mhm.
the past 5 years the company has been paying $80 million annually, which is live 3 days a week.
That's
Oh
pretty
my
good work.
God.
Pretty good scratch for
Yeah.
3 day
Well,
week job.
156 days a year.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is incredible, and he's gonna give up some, be doing moving more in through some video programming. Sirius will have access to his audio and video library for 12 years, so they're going to be mixing and they're going to have. Okay, we're paying you
Reruns.
$5, just doing best ofs and
Right.
find go in
They're
and
paying
find
for the content.
remix and stuff like that. So they'll get a ton of mileage out of there. And Howard's like 61 years old, so he's starting to get up there.
He's just making his great grandchildren richer.
Good for
Probably.
him.
Yeah.
To all our listeners out there, get us to that point.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Patreon.com. So I thought that was interesting because he had made a ton of noise. He said, "I'm not going to do one of those Meshuggah podcasts." He was very looking
Anti-podcast.
down his nose at podcasting idea. He said that's for losers.
That's
what he
garbage.
said.
That's
He
garbage.
said
That's for
podcast-
losers. Well,
So-
he may be right. I'm just looking around the room.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Brokeback Brian.
Yeah. You cannot say anything, sir. So that's the news on that, and also sad news this last week. MASH star Wayne Rogers dies at 82. He-
I'm not sad if you die at 82.
That's a full
I'm
life.
sad if you die at 17.
That's a
Yeah.
fun-
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was Trapper John for the first 3
That's
seasons.
right. Trevor
on,
John. His
on
replacement was BJ Honeycutt.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the top on Reddit television thread about it, he said the top comment was, "He's leaving Hawkeye without saying goodbye again." It's like, well, maybe Alan Alda was like cackling over his head. I'm still alive. So yeah, and that was, and it was interesting. I thought I loved his character the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
He left because he didn't feel like he was getting enough good material. I believe that's the reason why.
Oh,
Off to
yeah.
bigger and better things.
I bet he regretted that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seems like
Off to
anytime.
bigger and better nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like
He
the
did get the Trevor John. That wasn't even him, though. It was another dude that starred in that. Trevor John, MD.
oh yeah, it was a totally different dude.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was excited when there's another. Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't Wayne.
he doesn't have
Maybe.
clown hair at all. So yeah, he ended up being after he sort of got out of acting, he got into investing in film distribution, and he was a businessman. And later in his career, he did a lot of spots on Fox Business News, and he's sort of a little bit of wingnut action.
Interesting.
But
Everybody goes a little bit wingnut when they get old.
yeah. So I thought that was
crazy
and we had talked about MASH several podcasts ago, and it's still fun to watch because it was set in the Korean War, but it was really about the Vietnam War. So I know my dad enjoyed watching it.
So I watched a little bit of that San Andreas movie the other night before
With The Rock.
On
turned
purpose?
What are their faults?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just
So,
on
but they
and-
were flying over all the areas that they had filmed the MASH, and you could totally tell it was all those hills
Oh yeah, yeah.
where
yeah,
MASH
yeah.
had been
Right
filmed. Yep.
Right there around.
And that's the
LA.
last time I'll ever mention San Andreas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe I thought you was first talking about the GTA game.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Grand Theft Auto. What?
Well,
Grand
every
Theft
once in a while,
Auto.
I like to watch a little disaster movie blow up thing, but it's just terrible. And The Rock is actually trying to act in this one, and it makes it even worse.
He needs to stick to his strong points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so that there was that, and what else for the news before we move on?
You were going to talk a little bit about the Stephen King thing.
Oh yeah.
New
It is a
Hulu.
new, yeah, it's a new Hulu mini series that's going to be coming out this next year. 11/22/63, based off of a novel that he came out with. It's basically it's about time travel and the JFK assassination.
It's a romantic comedy.
It's a rom-com.
Okay.
Basically.
Rom-com.
And there is
I love me a good rom-com.
because I got
With
the
some
book when it came
assassination.
out, and I read it a couple of times. It's
Oh,
really
yeah?
good.
You read it?
I've read it a couple of times.
Cool.
It's
I
like
heard
every
it's one of his better novels
it's one of
that
his
he actually spent some time on. Didn't
It's-
write it like in a weekend.
yeah. It's and he wasn't high on cocaine when he wrote it.
That's the best time.
Mescaline.
Yeah, it's a really good book. And
Never
it's
heard of mescaline.
and he, have you ever seen a grown man naked? Do you like gladiator movies?
mescaline. It's the only way to fly.
I really liked the time travel aspect of it. It was really well set up, and just like almost nearly all of Stephen King's books, the ending is sort of a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
Do you got it on your
What?
shelf over there? or-
No, only the thing I have over there from him is the Dark Tower series. I
Yeah.
really liked. There's some shitty books in the middle, but the rest of it is pretty good.
I still
I'm not
haven't-
a fan of his writing style, and I'm not a horror fan, so most of the stuff I don't get into.
There's a lot. I like a lot of his novella stuff, different seasons, his short stories, Hearts in Atlantis,
Yeah,
things like that. His shorter stuff
Is-
he can have a good ending on it, and all of his best movies have been off of his shorter
yeah,
stuff.
for sure. Yeah. Shawshank.
Yeah,
Green
Shawshank
Mile.
was a short story.
Mhm.
Shawshank was based off. It was Rita Hayworth
Stand
and
by
the,
Me.
it was Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. It was out of one of his short
Mhm.
stories.
Yeah.
Andy Dufresne.
Yeah,
Stand by Me. Short story, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But his longer stuff just
yeah. The Stand by Me was based off of. I think the story was called The Body.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The body.
And there was in that same book of short stories, I think there was another short story called The Breathing Method. That is one of his. I love that short story, and it's actually has a really good ending. And it's like when he can get an ending, and he's even admitted in interviews. He has a little trouble with the ending sometimes. It's like, okay, and then the
How to-
alien,
how to
and then the
work.
aliens came down.
Right.
He's one of those
And then the giant shark came out. of the
almost
ocean.
like stream of consciousness writers. He's got the kernel of an idea, and he just starts writing, and things start coming to him.
Yeah.
There,
And then, like, how to wrap it up is never in his mind until he's there, and it's like, and they're all dead. And it's,
Insane.
Kind of like the writers of Lost.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
exactly.
Bull.
Well, they call the two different.
One of the worst
They call the
names
two different
ever.
camps of writers. They call them pantsers or plotters. Seed of the pantsers,
Mhm.
or people who plot their
Right.
stories out really meticulously, like spreadsheets.
What about like The
note cards.
Sopranos, like that one where it's just, we're just not really gonna end it. No one really knows what
I
happened.
like that ending.
You do?
Left to your
I'm a
own
fan.
imagination.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
whack them
Whack 'em. Or not.
yeah.
or not.
Just
Or
some
the
guys coming
cliffhanger
in.
ending.
Or
Just
do
some
they
guys
live-
coming into a restaurant. Who
So,
knows?
Let's have that after.
just real quick on that, it's that 11/22/63 is going to have James Franco in it.
He's
Yeah,
in
I noticed
everything.
that.
I thought. I
Yeah,
thought that was
he really is. He's like
Yeah.
the modern day
Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Nicolas
kinda.
Cage is what you're looking.
No, never looking for Nicolas Cage.
He's the modern day.
Ingve Malmsteen.
Yep, he is.
I would think.
So it's funny you wrote down on
Kevin
this
Bacon.
piece of paper that it was a Hulu series.
Yeah.
And you put a parentheses in front of it, and it looks like a C. And I was like, is he writing down something? Is there some Cthulhu thing coming up? I was like, that'd be badass.
Into the mountains
But
of
I-
madness.
Yeah, I'm
A
sort of
Cthulhu
disappointed.
Series, yes.
It could be. Well,
The things
some
that should not be.
Well, that's and that ties up pretty well with some of the weird endings that Stephen King puts on. His
Yeah. And then Cthulhu rose, and the world ended.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was
Go ahead.
and it was irrelevant who assassinated Kennedy then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing
Well,
I
at least we'd know.
the thing I liked the most, and that I think a lot of people liked, is because there's been a lot of conspiracy theories behind. Was it tied to the Bay of Pigs? Was it the Russians, the mob, Cuba that assassinated JFK?
Government.
You can't handle the truth. And just recently, I think I talked about it on a previous podcast, that there's been some recent declassified stuff that some of this tinfoil hat stuff about the JFK assassination
Mhm.
may be sort of true.
Yeah, yeah.
It may be.
I'm pretty sure that the one-armed man did it.
Yeah.
All right, so news.
Yep.
That's news.
That's
I'm
our news.
I'm on board with that show, by the way. I'm excited. I may do the Hulu subscription just to watch that.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's Hulu's like $8 a month, and I'm telling you, Hulu is much improved over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
It's coming up a little bit. They've got to conquer this, starting a series from NBC or whatever that's flowing over to them, and then at episode 6, episode 1 disappears, because everyone is going away from that. Where they're giving you, like with The Expanse, they're giving you 4 free episodes. Hey,
Yeah.
here's how good this show's going to be. Get into it. Now start watching it on Sci-Fi. Which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I think Hulu's got to change that up if they really want to get in and compete where the shit's gone
Yeah.
after a while. So you wrote down Serial. Did you want
Yes.
to talk about the season 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Or
I
is what
did.
you had for breakfast.
Yes.
He had cereal for breakfast.
I'm super serious. Well, the season 1, and there was a bit of time between season 1 and season 2. Who was season 1?
Adnan Syed.
Adnan Syed. It was about this. It was basically a murder mystery.
Mhm.
Did Adnan Syed kill his girlfriend or not?
Or not.
And it was really compelling. So season 2 is out now, and it's about the Bo Bergdahl.
Yeah.
And it is a lot more interesting than I thought it was. And he's going to be coming up for court-martial trial pretty soon, and that's really good timing on releasing this.
Yeah.
Talk about striking when the iron is hot.
When I saw what the subject was going to be, I kind of had a heavy sigh, like this is not going to be that good. I don't think.
Yeah.
However, I think we're 4 episodes in now, and it's good.
It's very interesting.
It's very compelling.
And it's when I heard about it, what he did, I was because they gave it to you in a soundbite,
Right.
and he was held by the Taliban or Taliban-like entities in the Middle East for 5 years, and he was tortured pretty severely. Until you hear this podcast, the Serial podcast, it really humanizes him, and you see he was in the wrong.
Yep.
But he had just like anything, real life is more interesting than anything you can make up in fiction. Is that he had his reasons. He had what he thought was a compelling reason to do it. And as soon as he, at least according to him, as soon as he got a certain way from the base,
What the fuck did I do?
oh shit,
And
he
generally,
realized that he
when
messed
you
up,
make-
and he just had to keep going.
When you make that bad of a decision, you have that oh shit moment, it involves mezcal or something.
Yeah,
You know, not just like, hey, I've got some rationalizations I've done in my mind. Yeah, I'm going to do this really crazy, stupid thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
And what he did, leaving his post and leaving that FOB, forward operating base,
yeah.
that was a really bad idea.
Yeah.
That was a real, because they were in an area where you didn't want to do something stupid. And it was basically what he did was stupid, and he talked himself into a little bit, he romanticized it a little bit like he was going to be a hero.
Yeah.
And then once he got out, he realized he couldn't turn back. Or he talked himself that if he turned back, that there was a very real chance that somebody turning back, because he could get out, but coming back, somebody might shoot him.
Might kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was 2 things that I thought just listening to it. Number one, or three things: the details of the story matter that you don't get on the news.
Yeah.
That the fact that she's able to get the Taliban on the phone for phone interviews and shit, I thought was pretty interesting.
And then talking to the guy and how the stories, how different, how it fluctuates. That one will say one thing and then a little bit later it'll say something that sort of contradicts it.
Mm-hmm.
And he even says stuff a little bit self-contradictory himself.
Right.
But, of course, at the certain point after 5 years and trying to escape 2 times,
yeah,
he was in pretty poor shape. So I don't fault the government for getting him back. I know that they had to give up 5 Taliban for him, but he was probably going to die.
Yeah. So
at that point. So I don't fault the government for
my
getting him
third
back.
realization, though, this far in, because I didn't know enough, like, is he getting railroaded or what's going on? But I do feel now that based on what he did, that he does deserve to be court-martialed, and he should be found guilty because he has already admitted to everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Because you just can't leave. You're on watch.
Right. You can't leave your post.
You can't leave your post. And then all the fact that for like months and months, those guys are running around like, 10,000 people are looking for you, and they're putting all their lives on the line because
there were people that died looking for him.
People didn't come back because of stuff.
And I'm not, because so far, and maybe I just missed it while I was listening, that has never been really confirmed that any other soldiers have actually suffered any injury in looking for him.
Well, I know that they were involved in a ton of actions. I don't think they've gotten that far into the podcast because she's just to the point where they're really starting to go in and knock down doors without any prep time. That was part of the episode 4. But I think a couple of people, because she does talk about a lot of the parents and stuff, like my kid didn't come back because of this person and all the looking. So I think
there was
down the road.
And there was a certain amount of spin, because I remember there was a certain amount of spin, especially from like Fox and right-wing media, about that immediately, that all these soldiers died, and then it's like, well, who died? And then let's talk about something else. But I he abandoned his post, so now he I think it was a brigadier general had offered the opinion, because they asked him to, he gave a recommendation on punishment, and he looked at everything and recommended this guy's suffered enough.
Well, I think maybe that's
they
what
recommended for it's like a misdemeanor sort of general
court-martial him, find him guilty. And I'm okay then if it's time served, but he did do it.
Yes,
I mean, there's no way around that.
And there is absolutely no way around that. And he should, but I
don't think you throw him in Leavenworth for the next 10 years.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of pointless.
Gitmo, and then close Gitmo around his ears.
Just lock him up with all the terrorists, quote unquote.
It's like, you're not gonna beat my feet with a cable.
Hey, at least we'll enjoy all the bacon that they serve.
So, wow. So that's why he's
absolutely
radical. That's why he's radical.
Radical.
Absolutely halal.
Yeah. So, but that, Serial was amazing, the first one. This one is good and compelling.
So is this a show or
a podcast.
Just a podcast, audio podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still listen to Undisclosed, which is carrying forward the Adnan Seed case. He just got back and he's going to get his retrial and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like that's progressing the correct way. And that'll dovetail into what we talk about when we get to Making of a Murderer here in a little bit.
Okay.
But you motherfuckers got to watch.
Yeah, I watched about 30 minutes in.
I watched the trailer preview for it, and I was like, "Oh, I see why now." You were saying this just made you mad.
Yeah. So
and everybody, and it's friends on Facebook. There's a girl commented today, Jana from Hastings back in Denton, and she's like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah. So let's just dovetail right into that. I was going to save it for later, but let's just go with that. So
since we're on the subject,
yeah, it dovetails nicely. But he is, for at least the first rape and assault and everything that he was sent to jail for and served 18 years, absolutely framed for it by the cops.
And he was so mad when he got out, he decided to do it for real.
Well, that's you decide. You watch what becomes after that and see what occurred, because
you made me the monster.
There is enough. I do believe that let's put aside he did it or not on the second one, right? Because I think that there's enough on either side that you could come down and rationally say he didn't or maybe he did. But the cops still, on the second one, the same cops come back and plant evidence and make sure that he goes down for this, whether he did it or not. So whether they felt on the second one that he did do this one, we got to make sure it sticks. And the how corrupt the police force is and the prosecutor is. So I don't want to get. I know everybody's just starting. You guys haven't watched it, but it will make you. I was sitting there. Some episodes make your jaw drop. Some episodes, like a guy at work was like, I was watching it, and I just had to leave the room because I was getting so worked up and so angry. My heart's beating. I'm getting all my muscles are tensing up because these cops are a bunch of sacks of shit, and they definitely took 18 years of his life for sure that he was not guilty for, because once DNA advanced to the point where they could eliminate him, and the Innocence Project was able to get that tested. He didn't do it, but they did not like him. The cops. He was kind of in the local family that was looked at as the baddies. So they framed him up and sent him away.
The Wild.
Where's this based?
But what city is it?
It's in a rural county in the Northeast. I can't remember It's
like Wisconsin or
it's like
something.
Wisconsin
Yeah,
or
that
Michigan.
Yeah,
because
because the guy he sounds.
They sound like that Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Upper north.
Yeah.
He may not. He may
that'd
not.
just be north.
He may not wear a cheese hat, but he's seen a cheese hat.
But it's more of a country, the real small town.
Small, yeah,
it could
very
be real
town.
small town anywhere
Yeah.
where the cops have unbelievable authority. There's not a lot of quality people to draw your police force from.
Yeah.
I am the law.
I am the law. Judge dread him a little bit.
A little bit.
So the whole
But it's fascinating to watch.
So the whole premise of the show is that it's a true documentary series showing
It took like 14 years to make.
14 years in the making. That this guy, they chronicle the facts about his what he was sent away for 18 years for, the facts about that case and the backstory of that, and then they show him getting out from that, being exonerated, the Innocence Project getting him out and everything, and then it's him then going after the police department, the people put him away, trying to sue them for damages and all that, and then kind of the retribution against him.
So all this happens the week before the $36 million lawsuit goes to trial, or starts to go down the court process.
Right.
It's pretty interesting timing.
Yes.
Some would say peculiar.
Yeah.
or convenient.
I don't believe in coincidence.
Well, and the same thing with the serial coming out right before Bergdahl's court martial, because it's like, wow, that's going to get the court of public opinion out there stomping around a little bit, because when Bergdahl was first released, it initially is like hometown hero, and then there's like, it was like those watching those GE commercials where it's, hey, you got a developer job. You're working on trains, and he pops the champagne thing. He said, oh, you popped it on the cake, and he said, I was trying to put it away. So it's like the sport just disappeared for Bergdahl.
Mm-hmm.
It's like traitor, and now so the serial coming out, and it's fair-handed, but it's more to the story.
Yeah, but I
that you
think
would
her
never
timing
hear.
is pretty intentional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, she's following up the most listened to podcast ever.
You got to strike when it's hot
Yeah,
too. I mean,
yeah.
I don't blame him for that, but that's what I do like is that it's very fair-handed. It's not cutting him any slack either.
And what I do like about Serial is that it's a one reporter. She started it, did the spinoff. She writes it, does the interviews, does a lot of the stuff. Is the quote unquote reader, because I'm sure that she's just most of that stuff's just read. She's not ad-libbing anything as she's going along. But I like it that's been so successful, and it came out of nowhere, and it's one person doing it.
Sarah
Pretty
Koenig,
intense.
Koenig,
And it's spawned Undisclosed, which is done by the three lawyers. One of them is the person that originally brought the story idea to her, who's the cousin of Adnan Syed. And then the Truth and Justice podcast, which he does interviews and with all the people involved, and then does like a lot of opinion and goes through like reader email about. And the listeners of all three of those podcasts have done tons of research, which a lot of that stuff has actually worked its way into the court.
Yeah.
In terms of stuff that they discovered.
People that knew
Right.
stuff that was involved at that
Right.
time. It's like there was a payphone
So
at
there's-
that Best Buy.
So there's a feedback system within that, like around what's actually the listeners and the people that have got in and done all the research off those because they listen to the podcast have contributed to the court case a little bit. Not
Yeah.
a lot, but a little bit.
And Ira Glass is one of the executive producers on the Serial podcast. He's does This American Life. It's been a long running podcast.
Yeah, Serial's
really
a
good.
spin-off.
Yeah, and it's This American Life is really good.
Yeah.
Well, very well produced.
I like This American Life a lot, but they change topics so much that it kind of hems and haws, and some of them really into and some of them out because of the
Yeah,
topic.
it's very it's This American Life, so it's very much a slice across the nation. And so yeah, some of it is like I care not one whit about that. Fast forward.
I'm done.
Yeah,
All right, so we got so much stuff. I'm just kind of looking through here.
keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
rolling. Let's do. I know something that we've all watched. I don't want this segment just to be me and Paul rambling along. So everybody is totally caught up and watched all 6 episodes of Into the Badland now,
Yes.
except for Ron.
Not exactly.
This is not something Ginger's going to be interested
And
in.
yeah,
that-
I know.
And thus
And
the
it is-
argument.
it is
it's-
something I think you will really, really like.
Oh, I've been watching it without her. I just haven't
Okay.
watched it all.
Okay.
Is it 6 total episodes?
6. Yeah. Well, if you look at how
Is there no more coming up here in the next? This,
No, I don't believe so.
They're on the
2016?
they're on the break. I think
it's a
little
very
bit later.
difficult show to make. It's not setting up and just doing some lines and the fight
all that
scenes.
wire work. Wow. Yeah.
That, I'm sure that takes a ton of time, a ton of money. That's a
Mhm.
huge crew on a TV show to get that done, especially on something that's new. But I love the rhythm of it. How it's a 5-minute kind of an intro, then the opening fight.
The rhythm is going to get you.
Yeah, and then it's storytelling in the middle. It builds
Rhythm
up to the ending fight, which is even bigger than the first fight. You are not nasty.
That was Rhythm Nation, not nasty.
There's a difference between nasty and
I
disgusting.
even got the cap on.
I know. The
Janet,
and then it's
Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
kind of a 5-minute thing to close it down. But yeah, that's got to be a ton of setup and difficult to get through. Like if they tried to do 20 episodes or something with all the fight stuff and everything in there.
Yeah, like I said, I think the last podcast we did, I'm not 100% sold on the thespian skills of Sonny and the boy with the black eyes.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
the weakest links, but they
Some-
make up for it in the end.
Yeah, Sonny was
So
not hired
Greg-
for his superb acting skills.
What's your take on it?
So I was just trying to make sure I was caught up because I thought that I was looking at The Expanse, and I think they're at 4 episodes so far. So I thought I was 2 episodes behind. So I'm like, shit. Let me check. No, I think that like you guys said, that the fighting. Initially, I was worried that it was just going to be, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It wasn't going to have a hell of a lot of plot line, but I think the fighting. It makes it exciting, but I think there's also a lot to some of these characters, and they do a good job building up like the background stories of, what is going to happen with MK. And you see him in the last episode, who are all these people that took him and what's going on with him. So I think there's just a lot of storyline that I'm excited to see how it plays out. And I think I just saw rumors season 2. Have they confirmed on season 2? Is that?
I don't know that for sure. There was a false confirmation there that I actually retweeted.
Okay.
3 or 4 weeks ago, but I haven't seen anything that said for sure it's going to. But I had a ton of attention around it.
Yeah, there's a lot of storyline. They started to really branch out all the different stories that, what's going to happen with MK, what's going to happen with Sonny, and
And I was very pleased. I won't spoil this for Ron since he hasn't seen it, but I was very pleased that they're not afraid to lose major characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And I don't know.
It's a mark of a good show.
Mhm.
And they do a really, really good job of the editing piece and making you feel like when they go into a fight scene that it's not, okay, now all the stunt doubles are out there doing it and you don't see a lot of close-up, face stuff. And so they do a really awesome job around making you feel like the characters are actually, or the actor, I should say,
Right.
is in that fight scene and doing their thing.
Yeah, if there is any CGI, I can't tell. It seems like it's just all the actual action, but
Well, the best CGI is the CGI you never see.
I know. I'm sure there's some in there, and like it's much like on Orphan Black, you never see the CGI. You never, they're it's so well done. You're just watching.
I thought you said at first. I thought you said Morphin Black, and then I thought Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. my brain, 2016 just went. It's like what year is this? I feel like Jumanji. I feel like Robin Williams said, "What year is this?"
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. God, I've seen a lot of those. And I can't find anything that says here that season 2, Into the Badlands season 2 news. Get solid viewer. This is somebody has written on this.
I could have swore it's like I thought it was like starting back up in February.
See,
go to Google and
Tech
say
Times. Into the Badlands is very successful for AMC season 2 inbound ?
Question mark.
This says.
As we pause to consult.
This is AMC has not picked up season 2 yet.
Show averages
Really?
3.2 million. 19 to 49 adults.
That's fairly solid. I don't know how much it costs.
The finale was 3.6 million.
Could have Kurt. They're going to trot out Kurt Sutter and say the numbers just don't justify.
Well, but he was down to 400,000 a week.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
But talking about just the money spent per eyeball. It may not
so it says it ranks number 3 for highest rated freshman series of any network on cable.
Yeah, that seems high, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that it may have. I don't know what the cost is.
Well, they had a huge benefit though from the lead-in from Walking Dead.
Number 2 spot was Fear the Walking Dead. Number 1 was Better Call Saul. So that makes sense.
Number 2 blows donkey dicks.
Fear the Walking Dead. I saw this on Extremist. It is going to be coming to Hulu.
Great, don't watch it.
Nobody, man. There was that. If you want to hear the sound, of
first season.
You want to hear the sound of "Don't Care." That was it. I said it is like
watch it at your own peril.
So, have you watched all 6 episodes?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought the last fight scene was really cool. It got all mystical and those weird Buddhist monks or whatever they are.
So it kind of took off on their Ford with the dog hanging out the window.
All right, so it kind of reminded me of Kung Fu Panda a little bit, like when they all of a sudden touch the different points on the body, and it's like this magical.
Yeah, but that's Kung Fu Panda ripping off Kung Fu things from back in the 70s.
Okay.
Kung Fu theater,
Shaolin monks.
Five Fingers of Death.
Yeah,
it's like when a rap song like rips off of Snoop, and then it's like actually this was way back in the day.
Right,
another
exactly.
Song.
It's like Wu-Tang Clan. Into the 36 chambers. I think I liked it. I liked the series.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things that I enjoyed. I really enjoyed watching it, but I don't know if it's like my most favorite show always.
No,
it's good chop socket.
Okay.
I do right, and that's all. I'm happy with that, and I hope they fine tune a little bit of the acting and the storyline a little bit, and push forward. But I very, very, very much enjoyed it. And visually, like I said, my rewatches are not about the action. It's about all the visual stuff that they're able to pull off in there. That's the lighting.
See, that's the thing for me. That is it better than The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt? Yes.
Everything
is it better than Fear the Walking Dead? Yes.
I watched like 3 minutes of that, and I'm like, nope, not gonna watch any of that stupid shit. The Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, this is 5 out of 5 stars.
Back in the Steam Mark Twain. Steamboat days.
I thought you were going to say back in Steamboat Willie days.
Back in the Steamboat Willie days. Back when they, you'd have the guys that would grasp rips and they'd strap their wrists together and they'd give them knives. Right. I think Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and the Fear of the Walking Dead producers should do that to see.
And one of them has to be canceled.
Thunderdome. 2 shows enter, only one.
It's not just the Joker.
2 terrible
the
shows enter, 1 terrible show should not
just break the pool cue, just like
it's
like the Joker toss in the middle.
Yeah, want to see a magic trick? Get the pencil. Bonk. Still love that.
But I hope they do pick it up. I'll definitely watch it when it comes out. It won't be top priority, but I won't be thinking like, oh, this thing sucks.
I'll definitely watch it. It's one of those shows that I'm like you. I would rewatch it for the cool stuff. I don't know if I'd rewatch it necessarily for the story. I think I'd fast forward through the cool stuff or look for
why would you fast forward through the cool stuff?
Or fast forward through the non-cool stuff?
Okay, that
so
makes
just watch the fight scenes.
that makes a
Yeah.
lot better sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they introduce some better actors at some point.
Well,
There's
I
some
think
good
that,
ones, but
I really like the guy that plays the Baron, although they're all Barons. I
Right.
really like the what's the lady Baron?
The widow.
The widow.
Widow.
I thought hers is my favorite character.
Yeah, she's cool.
The
so
mistress.
I'm okay with that.
she does a pretty good
Yep,
job.
she does a pretty good job. The wife.
Yeah, the wife is
Mhm.
pretty good. The
Does-
son kind of annoys me.
And the
Yeah.
skipper too. The millionaire and his wife. The movie star. And all the rest.
Presser and Marianne.
Here on
Gilligan's
Gilligan's.
Island. 3-hour tour my ass.
So I don't know if Paul watched this. I know Paul and I were tweeting back and forth a little bit about it. But The Magicians. Did you watch that
I
premiere
did watch the
episode?
premiere episode. The double episode premiere comes out January 25th, I believe.
Yeah. So did you like it?
I loved it.
So I tell you, like halfway into it, I was extremely undecided, and I was like, "This is probably enough out of my genre that I'm not gonna like it,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna be something I can watch, and it's maybe a little bit too much Dawson Creeky for me."
Until they start plucking eyeballs out.
No,
Until-
that's all you had to say. If it's anywhere close
and
to
then
Dawson's Creek.
by the time it was
It's
over, I
on
was
Ron's
like,
radar.
I can't wait to watch this going forward. I
Yeah.
thought the last half of that episode was fantastic.
Yeah, they the setup. They had to do some setup, but that's the whole thing. It's based off of Lev Grossman's series of books called
Right.
Started with the Magicians. And there's a 3 series. It's anti Hogwarts
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. It's
Well,
very dark. It's
and that's
magic,
where-
university school.
in
little
New
bit.
York City.
And that's what was
Get a
bumping
rope.
me. There were so many parallels. The different schools of magic, there's the one who cannot be named out there.
That's
it's
very intentional. It was sort of it was intentionally done. It was a sort of a sarcastic, dark underbelly take of the Hogwarts School of Magic, because that's a real old idea
Yeah.
of the going to a university. You take a look at there's a author, Patrick Rothfuss, The Name of the Wind,
Mhm.
Wise Man's Fear, and it's based young strapping lad goes off to Magic University.
Why does it
That's
have to
an
be
old-
strapping?
Yeah, Paul. Why do they have to be strapped?
Well, Brokeback. You should
Bro.
know. But
So-
that's an old trope
That-
in fantasy.
Yeah, for sure. But it bumped me because it's so many parallels, and I was like,
Trying to reel in those fans that were watching the.
But
Harry
that's
Potter
what
series.
those 3 book series sort
But
of
I-
took a darker take on that tropes idea.
Yeah, because those who were Harry Potter fans back when that series started are probably now.
And now they buy
their
everything out of the
20s, 30s.
teen paranormal romance section in Barnes and Nobles. But
Twilight.
It's like half the store.
50 Shades of Twilight.
Insurgent, Divergent, all that. But I thought the Mothman thing at the end, whatever the fuck that guy's name is, I thought that was super cool, and how dark it went during that period.
Would you like 1 eyeball or 2, sir?
Yeah,
I'd
both.
like
Both, please.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a cool effect, and I thought, I could, it was enough for me to say, when this double premiere comes out,
Give it a shot.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna watch it.
January 25th.
Yeah, and it's on.
Sci-fi.
Is that one on demand?
So it's January 15th.
Oh, was it January 15th?
Yeah, that's
I
one
may
of the
have-
things that we need to talk about. Mid-January, there are so many shows that kick off.
I know.
All the seasons come back. That's
I
going to be
coulda
some
sworn it was the 25th,
hardcore
but
shit
I-
to keep
I
up
believe-
with.
I believe you, Ron.
I'm gonna have to
Blind
apologize
BBC.
over and over to my wife. It's gonna be great.
Wait,
Yes.
so what else is? So what else is new? I'm going to apologize.
What's nice though is that over the holidays I did end up getting an elliptical. So I've been trying to find all the shows that were on demand because I haven't hooked up the Netflix upstairs. So I've been trying to find everything that's on Sci-Fi on demand. So weird thing that I noticed, they took episode 3 out for The Expanse until episode 4 was actually airing.
Oh, for on demand.
But episode 4 was on there on demand, so they only had 1, 2, and 4, and I had missed 3, so I
Weird.
couldn't jump it. So
Right.
I had to wait like 3 days before I could actually watch it.
And well, at least on Uverse, when they said they released 2, 3, and 4,
Mhm.
I couldn't get it off there, so I had to do it online. It was really weird.
Yeah, I had to watch the first episode online too. So the on demand, I wish you would pick it up like the next day. because that's usually I'll remember, oh crap, I forgot to watch that show. I didn't record it, so I need to go and find it.
Yep.
But I found that with Into the Badlands, both that and The Expanse, I couldn't find it until like maybe a week later.
Yeah, it is weird that how that on demand works.
Yeah.
Sci-fi,
And I think it's different for different.
Sci-fi.com is showing Magicians starts January 25th.
Maybe somebody mistyped on their article.
Yeah.
But so the premiere
IMDb guys are wrong, maybe.
first
Yeah.
episode was
That
enough for me
happens.
to be in to check out the next 2 or 3 episodes and see if it holds me.
Yeah,
Or
and
if
it's going to be a double episode premiere. So Sci-Fi has been knocking it out of
I
the
know.
park. 12 Monkeys season 2 starts in January or February, I believe.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, January and February is so much stuff is coming back online.
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm
Sci-Fi
sorta
has
not looking
really-
forward to it.
Sci-Fi has really. I mean, luckily, Childhood's End was a mini series because I was like, man, I cannot watch any more new series.
All right, so let's transition to The Expanse.
Okay,
Everybody's watched all 4 episodes except for Ron.
I have not watched the 4th episode, and that was my own fail train.
Fail Train.
But we can talk. Feel free to talk about it because I'm gonna watch it tonight.
There's no
anyway.
really spoilery stuff in there, really. I mean, it just advances the story a little bit. So one of the things, you know, how this
Remember the Kant.
you said can't, right?
The what?
Kant.
You
That's
said
the way
can't, right?
That's what the guy said. Well, the ship was named the Canterbury, right?
Yes.
Canterbury.
Yeah.
That accent.
And all the ships at sea. Remember the Canterbury.
So
That's like the weirdest flavored breakfast cereal.
they are doing something that I love. The episodes, the first one, anybody remember off the top of your head what it's called?
Um,
The first episode of The Expanse.
Dulcina.
Dulcina.
Pilot.
Yeah.
it's
Do
called.
you know who that is?
It's called Dulcinea. That is a Greek lute artist.
It is I feel it's
Female
the
character.
reference to the character in, you know where I'm going this with?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Oh man, I went and saw it. It's a play.
He lied. He
It's
did not.
It's a
about
book.
No, it's
It's a
well,
book.
it's also
Right.
They have
A play based on a book.
Is it
Yes.
a
What's it called?
We
vegetable?
watched it up in Omaha.
Is it
on
is
my
it an animal?
anniversary. Hold
Is
on.
it an animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Tilting at Windmills. There's your first hint.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
Don Quixote.
Yeah.
It is the Don Quixote.
It's a character from
story.
Don Quixote, and it's who Don Quixote believes is this beautiful princess that he needs to rescue.
Mhm.
And Don Quixote's sidekick is like, she's not very good looking. She's kind of plain, you know how. But Don Quixote's all romanced up in his head and is not really in touch with the reality going on.
His sidekick was Sanchez, right?
Sanchez,
Dirty.
Sanchez.
He played CS Counter Strike.
So I think that's a reference to, and this is again what I love with episode names. It's a reference to things aren't what they kind of appear to be.
Man of La Mancha is what I
Yeah,
was. I went and saw
the-
it.
yeah. So I like that.
Sort of like Orphan Black's. Their episode names.
Not
are
sort of like Orphan Black. Orphan Black is so far down that road that they don't even make sense, and it's 16 words long. That they just, man, that sounds smart when you say that phrase.
Yeah. Go with it. Run with it.
a chromosome of a different monkey butt.
Yeah. So it's Dulcina, Big Empty, Remember the Can't, CQB, which I'm not
Close quarter battle.
close quarter battle.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. And then episode 5 is called Back to the Butcher. Well, I think that I like how they're naming their episodes, and that's a big deal for me when I start digging into the details of a show that I really like. And Orphan Black, please stop naming your episodes such stupid shit.
No, it's a thing now. They got to keep it going.
Gosh, I know.
What I really like so far about The Expanse is that it makes me feel very much like it's a mix of Stargate Universe and Battlestar Galactica and any of the really well done sci-fi shows.
Right.
And it's the whole setting up that the solar system is basically there's 3 factions and shit's about to go down.
What I like about it, one of the aspects I like about it, is that it really is a plausible thing, right?
Mhm.
When we go to, and this was a tweet from last month, they just released all the regulations or proposed regulations around companies being able to mine the asteroid belt. It will be a super important thing for us in terms of resources, because if we can actually get all these resources from the asteroid belt and stop destroying the planet to get these resources out of the planet, that would be a huge win. So it's very plausible, that's our next thing that'll happen.
We talked
All
about
the tech-
that last podcast
Yeah.
that they just signed that space exploration law,
Yeah.
because that's the
Mhm.
next frontier.
Yep.
I also like
Not the final frontier, but the
the
next.
take
next
they
one.
have on actually growing up in space, growing up in
Yep.
a 0G area, and they talk. That's the first episode when you talk about like the spinal fusion and
Mhm.
all these different things. I have no idea what would be the main malady if you were growing up in a 0G environment, but it is really cool to think about what would happen, because that's probably in our lifetime that we'll see people potentially go and get raised in a space station.
Well,
so.
they have astronauts like currently the husband of the senator that was shot in New Mexico, I
Mhm.
believe, Griffin. Her husband he's currently on the longest
Oh yeah.
tour up in at the space station,
Yeah.
International Space Station.
So that's all super cool. The tech seems realistic. The
Mhm.
spaceships, how they function, the burns that they have to do. It doesn't feel like, well, Star Trek couldn't figure out how to get the people up and down, so they just teleport them. It doesn't seem like they were like, oh, there's some tech we can't figure out here, and here's some miraculous stuff. It all seems very real.
Except the cloaking technology. That's
That too is pretty real. With all the
Romulans.
with all- it's not-
Romulans did it
it's
first.
not cloaking as in becoming invisible. It's becoming invisible to radar
Mhm.
and other means of detection, and that's
Yeah.
all. That's
and
all
that's
real.
that's very yeah, because I mean you have current stealth technology of the
Right.
jets and stuff that the I think it was before it was like the radar signature of a fighter jet was like a size of a sparrow.
right.
Now it's down to like a size of a BB.
Right.
It's like, did you somebody shoot a BB through our airspace at 600 miles an hour?
So episode 4, where they that happens in the space, their spaceship gets penetrated, and how that all that stuff is.
Oh, that's
That was all super penetrated. That brought Ron to life.
I love the way that was shot.
Yeah,
too.
all that stuff was super realistic and really cool.
Yeah.
I thought. So I'm totally digging this show.
Now, if you watch it on demand, and I'm not sure, I haven't caught any of them like live, but do they do the where they talk to the actors about the episode after the episode is done?
No, if you watch it on demand, they do not.
Okay, so on demand they do that. I don't know if live if they do.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay,
Chris Hardwick wants to do a Talking Expanse show right after.
I bet he does.
but like they'll talk
He
about.
don't want to get caught up in Fear of the Walking Dead and on Lead Bomb.
Yeah, so they talk with the actors about like how that episode was. What were your favorite things of that episode? And all of them were just, I mean, they were drooling over episode 4. So you got a good one.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
And I'm hoping, Back to the Butcher comes on tonight. No, it comes on 2 nights from now.
Fifth.
Yeah, on
5th.
Tuesday.
How many? Is that a full slate? Is that 13 episodes? 10.
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which we see now is pretty common.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah, 10's about the normal.
Yeah,
run now.
that's all you need, man. You don't need
Yeah.
22 episodes a season.
Then,
Stop
yeah,
it.
You just get lost. Then.
Just stop it.
I can do 10.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting that for the longest time, and I guess maybe it was more with closed set type of stuff like Friends and things like that. That it was more the big 3 that was doing 22 episodes. That was the norm. 22 episodes. That's the
Well,
norm.
too, it depends on the show. A sitcom's much easier and cheaper to shoot. So
Yeah, you're shooting.
Right.
It's like Three's Company. It's like, okay,
Just get them
you're-
on set and
There you go.
costume.
Give 'em
Let's
cheesy
roll.
lines and-
Yeah.
$20 in a.
All right, get the studio audience in there if we're doing that.
$20 in a
Not,
bag of
hit the laugh
peanuts.
track. Roll.
I think that's very fascinating, Ron.
Well, so I think we're at, let's see what our time is here. We're at almost an hour.
Good.
Want to take a drink break? We've burned actually through much more in the first hour than I thought we would.
Excellent.
Extremely
We're thorough.
fast-paced episode.
Proficient.
So we're going to shut it down with an 80s video dating montage
From
Oh,
YouTube.
for your
yes.
listener enjoyment.
Heck yeah.
And we'll just chill out and let you guys listen to this.
Sweet.
Okay, early to bed, early to rise makes a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's why you're wiser than me. It's Stephen.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm an executive by day and a wild man by night.
Hi, my name's Monroe. You've probably already noticed that I have incredibly blue eyes.
Hi, my name is Phil. Most of my friends call me Big Phil.
Okay. I like to talk to people deep into the night.
I play guitar.
I'm Eitan.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Hi, my name's Mike, and if you're sitting there watching this tape smoking your cigarette, well, hit the fast forward button, because I don't smoke and I don't like people who do smoke.
I'm not afraid to get sand on my tuxedo if you're not afraid to let the wind mess your hair up a little bit when I take the top down.
Perhaps even a nice bath with some champagne and candles.
Hi, Mom.
What?
I do fashion photography, and I do consider myself a refined valley dude.
Okay. I'm looking for a trendy girl with a simple smile. Wait, it says here. Oh, excuse me.
I don't know. What I'm not looking for is some big, overgrown monster that's always thinking about food and.
Whoso binds to himself a joy, doth its winged life destroy.
I like to do a lot of sailing. I like to outdoor activities. I like climbing. I like travel.
I took a sponge ball, was pulling him out of a little girl's ear.
Vivacious, foxy.
I'm looking for the goddess. Are you the goddess? Who is the goddess? The goddess is the woman, is a woman, is any woman, is all women.
A figure that is sexy, slim, tight, excellent legs.
I'm a 25-year subscriber to both Playboy and the New Yorker magazine.
At night, I operate a damsel in distress hotline. I guess you'd call me a knight.
One of my favorite foods is pizza. And just sugar and spice and all those things that are nice.
I like to be with people who are as fun and adventuresome as well.
Is into having fun.
Have fun.
I enjoy having fun, yes.
Looking for somebody who likes to have a lot of fun.
I'm looking for someone to have fun with.
Love to have a good time.
Able to have fun. Fun and laughter.
And anything that's fun, I like to have fun.
And have a lot of fun.
Are you looking for me? No fatties.
I want it all.
No hamsters. Bestial watches. No dopers, no smokers, no alcoholics. We don't like to write checks. No Donna Juanitas. We don't like to take out the garbage. No posers.
What I'm doing right now is making a movie about World War II.
No crazies.
Santa Monica and my front porch swing.
I'm currently involved in cleaning up toxic waste.
I'm not having fun doing this.
Do you like cats?
Domestic violence.
That I like to wear bright socks, and I'm an avid Cleveland Browns fan.
Sexual abuse.
Life is a playground, and I want somebody to play with.
All sorts of alcoholics and addicts and stuff.
Because I really have a zany sense of humor.
We probably don't like to clean the house.
My mother still writes to me regularly.
Because I average about 4 hours a night sleep.
I will cry at a commercial.
I'm interested in most phases of data processing.
Fire-breathing dragons.
Frankly, I'm not comfortable, caring, and serious about a relationship. I am.
I'm really looking for somebody I can feel special about, and I don't encounter people like that very often, and I'm hoping you're one of them.
Are you that woman? Please give me a call.
And you know that a journey always begins with the first step. And I hope that if you like what I'm trying to say, or you'd like to know more about me, to please write.
My whole problem is the guy who said he's interested in most phases of data processing. Well, what do you mean by most? What is it that you don't like?
Well, there's a couple in there that are fairly boring when it comes to
those women out there. They're poor things. They're like, oh well, if I only knew which
I'm
phase
a guy
he
who's
was.
interested in all phases of data processing.
And remember, no
fatties.
fatties.